Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Sideline of goal! Lane Widow's doing it! They're gonna take! He's gonna bring down Burning! Alone with a double kill! Dropping fast! Monopoint's there! He's still alive! Wait, 2 seconds left! He's got one sub! He's got a second! He's taking it out! Oh my god! On 3! They're all dead!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Time now for our next match in the lower bracket. Vici Gaming versus MVP Phoenix. Having defeated IG, Vici Gaming move one step closer to making a big run through the lower bracket. You can see here, they've had to take down, well, a few teams. They've beat Speed Gaming. They did lose to HGT in the winner bracket in a 2-1 series, but since that loss, it feels like the real Vici Gaming showing up. Maybe it's something like the Dota 2 Asia Championships being announced, and something Vici Gaming's like, hold on a second, there's a tournament for over $1 million. We gotta start playing some serious Dota. Let's get some practice in. Let's take these matches seriously. But whatever it is, a new Vici Gaming have shown up today as well as yesterday, and it just feels like Vici Gaming are doing it right now. They, to me, look like a team who's going to make a run through the lower bracket, get to the grand finals, and put up a great series, whether they go up against LGD or possibly HGT in the rematch series for the team that knocked Vici Gaming to the lower bracket. With that said, don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. MVP Phoenix, the team on the other end, the Korean squad, had a good start. They took a game off of LGD in the winner bracket, and considering where LGD is right now in the winner bracket finals, that says something. MVP Phoenix are a team making a name for themselves in Korean Dota. They've yet to have that big breakout series. That, to me, is the big story with MVP Phoenix. They've come close a number of times. They've been to Dream League, they've been to Star Ladder, and here they are in China for I-League, but they've yet to beat really a big name team in an important match where like elimination on the line or anything like that. In Star Ladder, they got knocked out fairly early on. At Dream League, they took a game here or there in the group stage round robin, but they didn't make it to the main event. So that, to me, has always been the struggle for MVP, is winning when it counts. They can go head-to-head with the top teams, just never in these make-or-break matches. So we'll see what they can do here today against Vici Gaming. This is another chance for them. MVP Phoenix did knock out the Ninjas in Pajamas, Team Lions, earlier in the loser bracket. They also got helped out by Big God, the mixed all-star team of retired old veterans, who actually pulled out of the tournament, giving MVP Phoenix a free win into this loser bracket round 3. So getting some extra prize money and getting deeper in the tournament, well, with a little hand from Lady Luck as far as the brackets are concerned. And we'll see whether or not they have what it takes to go up against Vici Gaming. This is definitely a series where I worry for MVP Phoenix. It could be a fast 2-0. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a fast 2-0, but if MVP Phoenix pull out some cool drafts like they often do, they've got some niche picks like the Warlock we sometimes see March play, and just draft how they like to draft. Maybe they find something that works against Vici Gaming, and then we could see ourselves in a good 3-game series. Even then, though, you got to say Vici Gaming the more experienced team, but I just don't feel like you can count MVP Phoenix out. I mean, they've made it this far, even if part of that was with the help of a default win. They took a game off LGD. That, to me, is where you say, they took a game off LGD. They almost actually beat LGD in a best of 3. You got to give them at least an alright chance against Vici Gaming. And to start things off, it will be a first pick Skywrath Mage. We'll get ourselves into the draft here. It is a best of 3 series, as Vici Gaming open with the Ember Spirit, Vengeful Spirit. I like this opening just because of the versatility of the Ember Spirit. We're seeing LGD favor this early on. Generally, it's Yao being playing the Ember Spirit, but they'll run it safe lane, they'll run it mid. We had Black even playing it as an off-lane Ember Spirit. So the possibilities are there for this hero to be run in kind of different lanes as kind of a serious kind of carry/semi-carry, then also as kind of a utility more initiator, kind of how I would say LGD run it more with Yao, where he's just looking to control the tempo of the game, gank the map a lot more, and just kind of make kind of more plays rather than look to farm and carry for the late game. But then there are some teams and players who will play him for that late game style. But for now, MVP Phoenix respond with the QO Slark. I would say kind of QO's signature hero next to his Templar Assassin. This is definitely one of his best heroes. Sometimes the mid player for the team QO, sometimes the safe laner. This guy is kind of, I would say, like the Illidan of this team for you Western fans out there and want to kind of I'd say a pretty fair comparison. He plays very aggressive. It's kind of the give him a lot of farm early, and then he'll turn it into something good for your team. Sometimes, though, he maybe overextends a little bit. Sometimes he gets caught up in the moment and will make a bad decision. But when he's on and will win your team the game single-handedly. So that's kind of the spot QO can fill for this team. We'll see what else they look to go with these picks in the bans, and there's going to be an anti-mage ban showing some serious respect towards that black anti-mage, and even the TA gets banned out, so Generally, MVP won't run the TA and Slack together just because, as said, they're both kind of QO's heroes, but if they wanted to, if they felt it fit, they are on the Dire side. You get the TA, great at taking Roshan. You can put the Slack onto someone else, I'd say, at that point. Maybe give it to someone like March as the safe lane farmer, and we'll see. No TA, though, this game around, so it could have been a possibility, although it's not something I would have expected for MVP. More likely, you expect something like the Warlock, because the Slack going to be your safe lane farmer. If March can get his hands on a mid Warlock, I think I'd be pretty happy to do so. And MVP, these bans say, basically, we're not going to play like IG. IG don't care about banning Anti-Mage, don't care about banning the Nagasiren, because they're fighting. They're looking to end games before 30 minutes. They were picking these very 10 to 20 minute mark type of heroes that just dominate and fight as early as possible. For MVP, they're saying, we're looking to go late game, and that to me even suggests the Warlock may come out, because the Warlock is all about building towards that late game item set where you have the Aghanim's. You even get the Refresher later on as well, and to get to that stage, you kind of have to drag the game a little bit, and that's where I feel you do want to ban out the Anti-Mage and Nagasiren, these heavy split push heroes who will just kind of beat you in a late game scenario, and also avoid the team fight. MVP will go for a heavy team fight just later on. They don't team fight early on, but they team fight much later when Slack has his items, when someone like March has his items on Warlock as well. But I've been hyping up this Warlock a lot. I don't know if we're going to see it. We'll find out if that's going to be the case as we get into this second pick stage. Maybe something Vici Gaming have seen and said, we're not too afraid of it. Let's see how we match up against it. Maybe something they have a plan of versing, and maybe just something they don't expect MVP Phoenix to be picking. Both teams still in need of an offlaner, and, well, the Tide Hunter is still there, which is probably the, go-to for both of these two teams almost in some ways. I've seen them both run it and run it pretty effectively. MVP also liked their Batrider, but that got kind of, I'd say, somewhat target banned by Vici Gaming early on. And we'll see exactly what they go for instead with these next couple of picks and bans, as Viper even taking a hit there, something which MVP do like their Viper. So no qualms with that ban, and kind of more standard ban compared to if you're banning out the Warlock. It's really I don't know. I think it's fair enough against an MVP. You don't want to have anything too crazy coming your way. That's kind of, to me, how a team like MVP Phoenix could catch Vici Gaming by surprise. If you get a unconventional pick, something which Vici Gaming, even if they're saying we're not afraid of the Warlock, end of the day, they haven't probably scrimmed against it. They haven't actually versed it all that much. And Mirana gets picked up by Vici. Generally a support hero. I'm wondering if that's going to be how it's played here or not. Good diffusal buyer if they are expecting something like a Warlock pick to come out. And even then, maybe they say, let's run a Cormoran and just rush the diffusal. Purge that rock as early as possible, and we'll see what the plan may be here. But interesting pick. We haven't actually seen Mirana all too much recently. It has fallen off a little bit. I feel it just... It doesn't control or fight around the runes too well, and MVP with the Death Prophet. That's an MVP type pick. And we'll see them look to build around this Death Prophet, I feel you're not going to be looking to protect the Slack too much. The Death Prophet's almost in a lot of ways the more important one to guarantee some farm. You don't need Death Prophet to be your one position hero, but you don't want your Death Prophet to get ganked and shut down, and that's exactly what this Ember Spirit Venge Mirana does. Ember Spirit, great for setting up arrows in the mid lane, and this is where I feel Mirana used to be very popular back in the previous patches, when Ember Spirit was also a top pick in the Western scene. We saw a lot of this Ember Spirit set up Searing Chains into an arrow, get pretty much a guaranteed arrow, and you don't even need the Venge there. The Venge is just off kind of protecting the safe lane farmer. So you get something like the Black Terror Blade here. And then he just farms in the safe lane with the Vengeful Spirit. You've got a ton of minus armor from the Venge, and a lot of physical damage coming out. But for now it's a Juggernaut, which could be your farming safe laner, but something tells me this is more like an Ice hero for the off lane. Get the Jarl God going, as he's been playing amazing. He's been the MVP for me for this Vici Gaming team over the last few days. Not just put everything, kind of to credit him with everything. I mean, the game where his Darkseer hit some huge vacuum walls, but his team kind of drafted around him. He was built for success that game, but his Tide Hunter yesterday, it put his team on his back. He was the top farmed hero for most of the game, and he just played an insane Tide Hunter. So, surprised they're not actually going for the Tide, but against Death Prophet Omniknight, once the X isn't up, Ravage is only going to do so much. You've got Dark Pact, you've got Omniknight Repels, so maybe just considering this not the best game for the Tide. Another hero MVP do like to run is the Doom, which also matches up pretty nicely against the Tide Hunter if MVP were to pick up that Doom. So we'll see what Vici Gaming get now with these last couple of picks for themselves, as it looks like MVP need an offlaner. Unless the Omni Knight's going there, I think it was an offlane Omni Knight in one of the games by MVP Phoenix against the Ninjas in Pajamas. And I got to say, the offlane Omni Knight did not work, even if MVP Phoenix did win that game. And we'll see what they have in mind as far as the last pick. It seemed Vici Gaming may be expecting the core Omni Knight as well. And for Vici Gaming, well, the Juggernaut, kind of that flex pick, there's going to be an Axe Band, so you've seen Black run that safe lane Axe, and I feel like there's enough carry potential between the Jug and the Ember Spirit. If you want to run an off-lane Jug, Ember mid, and have a farming Axe, it's kind of like the new farming Centaur. Teams used to do a lot of that safe lane farming Centaur and get the fast blink. Axe, same story. We saw it last game with Black, and he was dunking fools. He was showing Chuan how you play basketball. He's like, this is how the real men dunk. So Vici Gaming, last pick coming their way, and we'll see what they have in mind. If they think of the Axe, maybe they do go for something like the Centaur instead. Some good burst damage. You can catch people by surprise before Omni can come in with the defensive repel purification. Even someone like a Slack, you can't really react in time with a Dark Pact to get out of that. So we'll see Invoker. Oh, the Black Voker. I say Black Voker. Super also plays this and plays it very well, so I mean, I'm talking about Super and Black's Invoker, and then you look at the third player on this team, Ice. I mean, everyone can remember, who's been watching and following Dota for some time will remember his Invoker from like TI2 era, where he knocked out the American boys' Complexity with some Suns. Basically, when the only Invoker you played was Quaswex, Ice said, nah, I'm going Exort, and he was just sniping fools left, right, and center across the map, so it's kind of funny when you look at a team like Vici Gaming and you see Invoker, you're talking about Black and Super when they've got such an amazing Invoker player in Ice. So all three core players very competent at this hero. And FY, this guy can Invoker too. I think it was at the Summit 1 when there was the 1v1 tournament. I think one of the matchups was Invoker versus Invoker, and he beat an Invoker player mid in that 1v1. FY, I can't remember who he beat. I'm pretty sure there was one game where the hero selected was Invoker, and he won that 1v1 matchup. So, all very competent Invoker players as far as Vici Gaming is concerned. It will be Black. Not surprised by that, but I mean, looking at this draft, it looks like a safe lane Invoker for Black, Super going mid, the Jug going to the off lane, although sometimes Super and Black will switch things up. Black has gone mid here or there. It kind of depends on what kind of matchups they want. With the last pick Earthshaker, it seems it will be the offlane Invoker, offlane Omni Knight for MVP Phoenix, putting Death Prophet mid. So, as far as matchups for Death Prophet mid go, I feel like Invoker or Ember Spirit's similar-ish. Neither's gonna beat a Death Prophet per se. I think you want the Ember Spirit mid just because of the synergy with the roaming Mirana. You're gonna be setting up kills. You're gonna be looking to use that Mirana to roam around the map and find kills. And sure, you can do that against an offlane Omni Knight, but Omni Knight's playing defensively regardless. He's not gonna be walking up to fight the Ember Spirit when Mirana's nowhere to be seen, whereas Death Prophet's always going to be sitting like in top of this hill somewhere around looking to just spam Crypt Swarms. And if you somehow get in range for a Searing Chains, like you find an Invis or a Haste Room, whatever it may be, your Mirana swoops in, hits an arrow, and you found yourself a kill. So I think Ember Spirit mid is the way to go, and it looks like, yeah, Vici Gaming are going to do that. They get the Poor Man's Shield, it will be the mid Ember Spirit, so 4 boots first for him. Gets down an early ward. Has he been spotted, though? We'll check out. Looks like did not get vision in time, so they do not know where this ward's been placed, and or do they? FY not going to drop it. Yeah, he's got sentries, but we'll see if he suspects this. Every now and then, this is the kind of, I call this the pub ward. This is what you see all the time from your pub offliners. They go down, they chuck this ward, it sees the rune, it sees ganks, your basic ganks coming in from supports or when they're coming to zone you out, but it's so obvious that it gets de-warded most of the time. The problem is, in pro games, it's so obvious that most people don't use it. I think it was Ice who I remember a few months ago using it, and it just crushed the offlane because no one really expects it there. They used to expect the wards to be in like spots down here, even like further up here, but if you sentry for these spots, maybe the sentry doesn't reach here. So I feel like it's a ward that if you use it very infrequently can do a lot. Both bounty runes going the way of Vici Gaming, and it looks like Ice trying to get an early kill on March, who's got very little regen here. Doesn't get the kill, but does Blade Fury march down nice and low, and also gets the bounty rune for himself. So well worth it. The arrow going to hit Reason, and Reason's got 0 base armor. This is looking like a kill. Ice with some nice bit of body blocks, and FY picks up an early first blood on the Mirana. That's going to give him money for boots if he wants to go for that. May even consider something like a fast bottle as a roaming hero. And he's... Well, I don't know what he's doing up here. He has not got leap, but he's having to battle it out a bit with Heen. Earthshaker on Mirana. I definitely give the edge to the Earthshaker as far as the man fight goes. 53 damage. Oh, was looking for the block. That would have been nice. I don't think it would have been a kill. He could have waited out the fissure to expire, but would have done a lot of damage, and maybe with a rotation from the Skywrath Mage could have found a kill here. So we'll see some stacks begin. Skywrath, Earthshaker, both actually getting stacks off. Nice bit of support play there coming out from the dire supports. Mirana seems to be positioning up top. You hit an arrow, you Blade Fury, you're looking at probable kills coming your way. And they're going to just trade hits a bit here. Arrow now going to go flying, goes through the creep wave here, but it's mid lane. A solo kill from Super brings down the Death Prophet, and so much of that goes back to Ice 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 on the Jug. That top fight over the top rune, getting the Death Prophet low, and because Death Prophet only had 2 pulled Tengos, could not really heal up that much. It's not like you have 4 Tengos of your own. You've got that 1 minute cooldown on pulled Tengos, and, well, Super's Ember Spirit not saying to be messed around with. Ice 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 now saying, look at your 0 armor. Oh, the value point in the Blade Dance as well. Rished here at the top lane. And Kuo's Slack not exactly getting the free farm he would hope for in the safe lane, with Mirana being pesky, roaming around. We'll see Ember Spirit now. He's got 2 points in that Searing Chains, and you hit a Searing Chains, it's got that 2-second duration now, and that pretty much guarantees an arrow. Assuming FY is ready and in range to fire it. Forever at bottom, only hitting level 2, so not exactly having a good time in that offlane. And it's a Sleight of Fist early on, so you can get that easier setup for the Searing Chains. It means if March is playing back and running away whenever you walk up, you can use that Sleight of Fist to guarantee a Searing Chains, which then leads into an arrow. And it looks like they're pinging things out. That's what they want to go for here in the mid lane. Maybe with a few less creeps here, and when it pushes up a bit more, FY trying to remain hidden around the tree line. This is where Earthshaker is positioned here. He recognizes that there's a serious threat for a gank, but he's going to fall back to pull at 52. Same story for FY, it seems. Yeah, so both supports going to do their stacks, and this is going to become your standard support play. You sit around the mid lane, look for a gank opportunity or a counter gank opportunity in the case of Heen, and then you go for the stacks when possible. And it seems FY still remaining patient here at the mid lane. Could make a move towards somewhere else here. Top lane, Ice 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 almost going to kill the Skywrath Mage. He's got the Healing Ward up, and you cannot kill that. 450 movement speed Healing Ward is going to keep him alive and healthy. Kuo trying to go for it. Ice 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 manning up. He's got 7 stick charges. He doesn't use them, though. Kuo with the Essence Shift. He steals a lot of agi. Sunstrike! Bullseye! Down goes Skywrath Mage. Black says hello. I think Ice 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 was hoping to at least survive that right click, but all the agility that Kuo stacked up, he had 7 Essence Shift charges. Gets in the kill without the magic stick charges being used, and Ice 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 getting too greedy there. He was hoping to just survive 1 more hit, then pop the magic stick, and then get a Sunstrike onto the Slark, but didn't happen. But he's still doing well in this offlane. He's going to force out a fissure. He's got boots. He may even look to chase this one. Typical Ice Ice Ice, trying to create space. Heen looking for the jukes. Yeah, okay, working well so far. Ice 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 going to run back up. Now it's nighttime. Things get a bit harder, but he's still on the hot pursuit. There's no mana for a fissure, and it looks like Ice 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 may find himself a kill. The body block's not going to happen. The Blade Fury is there. He's blocked himself in. Oh, dearie, dearie me. The Death Prophet's going to show up. Nice Healing Ward in the trees. Is it going to save his life? It may just do so. There's the Searing Chains. Ice 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 goes down. But it's the Ember Spirit. It's Super showing up. He's got no Flame Gun, but he doesn't need it. He gets the kill with a DD rune. It's a double kill. What a bloody disaster here in the top lane as Vici Gaming just overwhelm MVP Phoenix, the jukes from Ice Ice Ice, the plays, and more importantly, the hashtag Space Created coming out. As Super now picks himself up 1100 gold. Oh dear, things not looking good here. Sunstrike after a magic missile. 4 gets low. He repels up, but 1 more right click. Oh, 15 HP. The Forge Spirit going to expire. Almost another kill. Oh dear. Ember Spirit. Oh, that Searing Chains hits. That's another kill onto March. Things getting very out of control here. MVP not going to be happy about how this early game went. Almost a 2.5k gold lead at 5 minutes in. This was not the plan. Omni Knight, such a weak laner in the offlane, but at this point it's not even about the offlane. That's just... You take the offlane out of the picture and look at how the other lanes are going. Mid a downright disaster with how much Super dominated. Ice 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 at top. He's 1 and 2, but the 3 assists, he's created space, helped Black find openings to use the Sunstrike. Even though he's only found the 1 kill with the Sunstrike, missed one of the other ones, it's still been constant pressure coming out of Vici Gaming. And for MVP Phoenix, they've been long trying to find that big win against a top tier 1 team. They've yet to really get a LAN victory over a tough opponent here. We'll see the arrow come out. Oh, that was so close to clipping Heen. Super still wants this, and with the phase boots, he can catch up, it looks like. You betcha. Heen gonna go down. Super finds himself his 4th kill of the game, picking up where he left off in his PA. Meanwhile, top lane, Ice manning up against Q. He's trying to bait with the healing ward. You cannot get that healing ward. Sunstrike is there. The arrow going to be dodged, and the Sunstrike. QO keeps himself alive. Playing with fire, literally in the case of the Invoker, and we will see the healing ward finally get sniped. Ice, definitely the Dota 2 player, I would say, with the most impressive micro as far as pro Dota players go, and you can see it here. Even just the secondary unit of the healing ward, he's not just microing it away from MVP, he's baiting QO in. He moves it forward, so QO's like, ooh, I can kill it, and then he moves it back just as QO gets nice and close to it. He's using it not just defensively, he's using it as offensive bait. Now he's level 6, has an Omni Slash. This lane is, I don't know about, I mean, it's pretty much all but lost. He's going to find Skywrath. This is looking like a kill. No, gets back to the creep wave. No, he still goes for it. He goes to the creep wave, though, not the Omni Slash he was looking for. And now QO. Oh, doesn't actually chase. I think he could have got that kill. There was no mana left on Ice. Sunstrike, go! 25 HP. Not going to find Q. I think that's who I was looking for. Reason, though, cops the damage from that one. He's going to TP home. Doesn't want to, I don't know, risk another Sunstrike, I guess. So Midases for both QO and the Invoker. Invoker wins the race there. QO now going to pick us up 7.5 minutes in. He's had a much tougher lane, so I don't blame QO for that. Black Meanwhile bottom lane has been free farming away. 50 CS, 51, 52 to the 37 of Slack. I've got to say QO's done well considering the pressure that Ice has been putting on him. And for MVP, it's just full defensive mode here. Death Prophet probably the one who's in the worst shape as far as their core heroes go. Going to move to the jungle with Foreb. Getting some farm priority in the mid lane. And here goes, well, Ice once more. Gonna have backup from oh, it's the S4 haste rune. What do you know? Super pops it. Does not get scouted just yet. Okay, we'll get scouted by the 2 heroes on the high ground then. Also looking to steal a bit of a stack here. No, oh, actually does have the Fire Remnant up to get out if he needs to, but no Flame Guard right now, which is the annoying thing for him. So top lane, Ice waiting for that Omni Slash to come back up. And Reason poking his head in and looking to just keep Ice out of this lane. Just a level 1 healing ward, and I think as an offlane Jug, this 3-1-1 build, the way to go. Just that value healing ward point, we've already seen it come into play. And he's got the mana pull with the Wand, the Robe of the Magi, just getting that early kill in the early bounty rune. So much goes back to that with how this lane has worked out well for him. And so we'll see a Slack pounce in. Jug just going to turn and fight. I guess Slack saying, I've got Shadow Dance. You're not coming on to me. He's still chasing. QO really wants this. Healing ward is there. Take the healing ward. He gets the kill. Ice. Getting played. QO says, you're not juking this one, sonny boy. You take a lot of damage from the tower. Watch out for that Sunstrike. It's on cooldown. I'm not sure where that was used. Maybe looking to help out actually earlier in the top lane. But we'll see Phase Boots picked up by the Vengeful Spirit. So Fenrir, he's had a really good day earlier. His Vengeful Spirit earlier on today. And just in general, his play has been, I would say, FY normally the support play for this team who gets the hype, but today it's been Fenrir making the plays happen and just all around having a really good game. QO doing some scouting. He's trying to figure out exactly where the ward is. He pings on the hill. Little GPS detector that is the Slack. Says that's exactly where their ward is. Are there sentries? Yes, there are, but they're actually looking for a smoke gank. QO is going to try to secure the rune. Does do so with an illusion rune. Exorcism going in the mid lane. March now repelled up, and we've seen this repel really be used to pretty good effect. Earlier on it was on the Ember Spirit when he had the haste rune to remove it, and Super now going to get jumped, gets silenced for a little bit, but now the Fire Remnant, oh, actually back to the mid lane. Has one left there. And we'll see what MVP can do. They're going to fissure into a pounce. FY stuck. The Sunstrike on a QO with an arrow. Not enough damage. 1 HP. The double Starstorm, though. Oh, Mirana gets the kill. Does not get the XP for it. That would have been a lot of XP. A solo kill on the Slark, but just the kill on the Slark you're going to be happy with. That's a level 9 Slark going down. Would have been a good, like, what, probably level 7 for Mirana if he gets that. Well, Super now going to get another rune. He has been pretty flawless today. His PA went like 15-0, and here he is 4-0 in his Ember Spirit, so the plays continue to happen here. Ice lurking on the high ground, hoping someone comes his way for an easy Omni-Slash kill. That's not an Omni Knight, though. He's hoping for like a Skywrath or an Earthshaker. Maybe even the Death Prophet, although Death Prophet harder to keep up with because of the phase boots. QO now. I'm gonna continue his farm. And that's one of the things with Slark. Often you think you get like level 10, level 11, you want to maybe go ganking, but oh, QO misses the pounce from the high ground. Probably not looking at a kill there with Omni-Slash and Blade Fury, but QO could look to bait it out, use a Shadow Dance to dodge the Omni-Slash, and it's going to be a gank towards the top lane, and not an easy hero to gank the Slark, but you can keep up with him using the Fire Remnants. And we'll see the plan, what it's going to be. Arrow from the side, QO pounces and hits it. Dark Pact is there, can ulti, but the chase is on. Blade Fury going to help things out here. Super's used one Fire Remnant, has the drums as well. Another pounce out, and QO's still alive. Sleight of Fist is there, but Repel Purification, QO. Going to be just fine. Multiple MVP hero rotations forced towards the top lane, but at this point, keeping Slark alive is one of the #1 priorities. And so there will be a pounce, Dark Pact, FY, one more right click, he goes down. QO is finding a lot of kills now, and Ice has got to be careful. Gets the healing ward up, the pounce not going to hit once he Blade Furies. Ember Spirit gets a kill on the Death Prophet. As the chase is on, there is an Omni-Slash, he's going to turn, but does not get it off. QO making sure of that. Can he survive? No, he can't. Ember Spirit now is looking for the turnaround here. Nothing to protect the Earthshaker. Omni Knight out of mana, it looks like. Has a magic stick, can maybe get one purification off of himself. Pops a GA instead. Not sure about that one, but I don't think a purification would have helped. Like I guess bonus HP probably would have been a bit nicer. Has a repel now, needs to use it. Doesn't get a chance to. Triple kill for Super. He's 7-0. Somebody just needs to give Super a chill pill, because he has just had an insane day as far as his kills, and 0 deaths in 2 of these games here. He played the Tiny where I think he had a couple of deaths, but all in all, today's just been it's been the Super show. FY now. Ring of Regen picked up. We'll see maybe like an Arcane's mech build from him. Possibly a 4-staff as well, but I feel like a mech for the team could be pretty useful. As a 4 comes back in, we'll heal up March and look to mount a defense of this top lane, but Vici Gaming have numbers. They've smoked up. Omni-Slash still online for Ice. One of those players, like Ice, his score never really tells the full picture. He says he's 1-4, but he's got a lot of farm. He's created so much space for his team and done a lot here, but he's not going to be able to do anything to save Super, whose streak is finally ended by MVP. And MVP looking to convert this into a tier 1 tower. We'll see what Ice can do. He's going to draw some creeps off and look to make something happen here. I like this from Q. Going to pounce to the high ground. We'll find FY. Dark Pact, pounce, and FY was snoozing. Oh no, the pounce was cooldown. That actually saves FY's life here. Going to swap him back in. Can ulti if QO wants to, and will do so. Dodges the arrow. No Omni-Slash used just yet, but QO, as soon as he comes out of this one's going to be in trouble. Blinks away and trying to just create some space for his team to maybe get the tier 1 tower, but it doesn't look like they're going to do so. March gets healed back up by Purification, but they've got the Sentry Ward ready for this one, but the Blade Fury going to be used just in time. Fissure blocks off a lot of the rest of the team. Actually doesn't get the full block off. Silence now coming out. Sunstrike. Slark, he gets blown to pieces. Trying to once again come in for a flank, and QO getting punished by Vici Gaming. They know what's going on. They know QO's playstyle. Going for those kind of hyper-aggressive space-creating moves, and he's off on his own. Doesn't have the Omni Knight protection. You kind of almost need to maybe rethink this. I guess they're using the Omni Knight to keep March alive, but at some point, if QO wants to play as aggressive as he is, he needs that protection for himself. March now going to get Purification. The heal bomb hits Super as well. Now gets repelled, but without an exorcism, the damage just isn't really there. The Crypt Storm does decent damage to swap back, but March is dead with the Omni-Slash coming into play. Chase still on. Nice 2-hero Searing Chains. That's 4 rev as well as Reason. Both probably going down. The Blade Fury magic damage will go through the repel. Magic Missile not even needed. As it's a 3-for-0 trade with that little clash. And Vici Gaming get another 2,000 gold swing and just pull further and further ahead here. 4 dead as... Wait, what? 4 dead? Slark? Just... Okay. I look away for a second and there's a dead Slark. That happens. Apparently, he just TP'd into his death. Oh dear. QO, he started off so well. He actually matched up pretty well against the Juggernaut, and we'll see Vici Gaming look to just keep MVP away from these towers, just not in a position to defend. They can pop a Yules and try and stop Super, but he's not being stopped here. The Searing Chain, Sunstrike, death from afar! They've got the long-range artillery in the form of these Sunstrikes and Searing Chain's arrows. The synergy coming in perfectly from Vici Gaming. He sniped the Earthshaker, and 4F couldn't even react in time to get a Purification or a Repel off. He just wasn't ready, expecting it more than anything. Searing Chain's arrow and Sunstrike all hitting it within a second of each other, and just underestimating the combo, and not even underestimating it, just nothing you can really do almost, unless you've got perfect reactions there. Swap it top, March. Gonna dodge the Magic Missile. Nice bit of Yules play there. Gonna need more where that came from, as Black Mill to TP out, the Moonlight Shadow even being used, just for good measure. At this point, Ice, he's not been staying alive for these kills, so he still hasn't got the level 2 Omni Slash. You can see the farm, it's the Invoker and the Ember Spirit who's been benefiting from all the space he's created. Level 14 Ember, level 11 Invoker. Let's go back to this. Level 14 Ember at 17 minutes. Super is 10-1. The one death may be a bit avoidable. He ran into kind of 4 heroes on his own, but hey, his game has been close to flawless. And looks like bottom lane defense is in order. Slapping the TP into the trees. Goes in. The healing ward's still there. Blade Fury, Searing Chains. Cure taking a heavy damage here, but it's going to be just a TP out, and it's top lane. Death Prophet dying to the trio of Venge, Mirana, and Invoker. Super doesn't even back off. He just says, I'm going to stick around. Looking for Searing Chains. He's like, wait, what's actually going to kill me? There's nothing to lock him in place. He's got a guaranteed Fire and escape. Yep, there we go. As soon as he sees that blink in, he's just out of there. Unless you hit the Skywrath Silence, but no opening for Reason. Hard to do so during the daytime without the vision. And Vici Gaming just going from objective to objective. With Black having a Necro 3 now, they can get complete map control. Use this for some de-warding, although MVP with some nice wards that haven't been detected just yet. More importantly, use it to push. Tier 2 tower should be pretty easy takens. And possibly even like a move into the Roshan pit could be in order. As it looks like, forget Roshan, let's go high ground. We've got 3 points in the healing ward, and the Necro 3 without a clear answer right now. Before even going to just repel himself here. QO goes in the backline, does get the healing ward, going to pounce himself out. Is it worth it though? Fire him afterwards. QO now forced to ultimate. Super's still chasing, he wants QO. Meanwhile in the main fight, it's going to be a kill onto the Omni Knight. As it looks like QO does end up going down. Death Prophet in the front lines takes heavy damage from all the summons coming out of Ice. It's a 2-for-1 with the Venge going down. Slark getting chased down by the Ember Spirit was a nice little play. And here comes Super. Sleight of Fist with the Battlefield. And a DD rune. Of course he's got a DD rune. That's why you go high ground. Triple kill for Super's Ember Spirit. 13-1. QO's come back in the fight. I think that was a buyback. You bet it was. If he dies again, it's all over for MVP. Sunstrike is there. It gets dodged, but it doesn't matter. He goes down again. It's an ultra kill for Super. Can he get the Rampage? He hasn't got much mana left, but he's going to look to chase down Reason. There's your Fire Remnant forward. Super wants the kill. Has a Sleight of Fist. Does not have a Searing Chains. Can phase. Needs to get this kill fast. The Rampage timer wearing off soon. Arrow not going to land. Super's saying, give it to me, baby. Give it to me. I don't think he's getting this. Misses the Searing Chains, and it's too late for the Rampage, I believe. Gets the monster kill, but no Rampage for you. Super just cleaning up house right now with a 15 kills on his Ember Spirit. And MVP Phoenix being just toyed around with at some point, it feels like. The dieback from the Slark puts QO really far behind on farm. We'll take a look at the net worth, and he's at 7k, so he's up there with the Death Prophet, but you compare that to the Invoker, the Ember Spirit, and it's not a pretty sight for MVP Phoenix fans out there, and for fans of Korean Dota. They're just, I mean, this is at this point, one of the best teams in the world. The ESL New York winners, the Summit 2 champions. When this team shows up and starts like taking tournaments seriously, they clean house. At least that's what it feels like a lot of the time. At ECL, they were kind of playing more casually, trying kind of some more experimental picks. They end up with a Techies one game. But it feels like the last few days, Vici Gaming have just stepped up their play and are playing on a whole new level. That's where they 2-0'd IG earlier in a pretty decisive fashion, and a team like MVP Phoenix is just looking maybe a bit outclassed here. This is still just game one, so I mean, for MVP Phoenix, you look to see what you can do to turn this game around, but going into game two, you just got to kind of go into it with a clean slate. And, well, QO, hit by an arrow. There will be a repel, but the arrow stun duration is still lasting, and he's looking to engage here, but engaging into this Vici Gaming 5-man, not an easy proposition. As I will see QO with a repel, actually kind of fighting okay here. Repel wears off, now the arrow comes through, catches 4Rev, uh-oh, super silence up, but he doesn't care, he's just going in for some right-click damage. The Guardian Angel comes too late, they've already lost 2. March with the XM doing some decent damage, gonna get thrown up in the air, Deafening Blast, Chaos Meteor from Invoke, it's a double kill. Black with a perfect combo, just the Omni Knight left standing, and it's GG, 21 minutes in. Vici Gaming squash MVP Phoenix here in game one. And, well, nothing much more to be said. Very one-sided game from start to finish. Oh boy. MVP Phoenix, welcome to China, says Vici Gaming, and Vici Gaming pull ahead one game closer to getting themselves into, I believe, the top 3. A win here puts them in the loser bracket finals in the top 3, where they will await the loser of LGD and HGT, who are playing in the winner bracket finals. And, well, MVP Phoenix, they got to go for plan B. They need a new way of tackling on Vici Gaming. But guys, stick around. We're going to see what MVP Phoenix can do. If Korean Dota is going to bounce back and take Vici Gaming on game 2, and we'll see what's going to happen there. So stick around. I'm GoDz from Beyond the Summit. You can follow me on Twitter at BTS GoDz. More Dota 2 action from iLeague LAN Finals coming your way soon.